Hi guys, this is JB and Minot here, and these are my latest pickups video. It's the last full weekend in June, so let's go ahead and get started. What happened was the end of May, early June, I had to go home to visit some family, and while I was there I went and visited a few retro video game stores and flea markets. I've also got some new Switch games here that I bought here. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I added to my Game Boy collection quite a bit this month. The Smurfs for the Game Boy. It's kind of like, reminds you of Super Mario Land. It's a pretty good platformer. It looks real good. Game & Watch Gallery, 5 games in one. It's basically, or Game Boy Gallery, excuse me, but I already got this game. I didn't know I really had this game. It's called Game & Watch Gallery. It's basically a bunch of early Game & Watch games collected on one cartridge. Had I known that, I wouldn't have gotten it, because I already got that game. Okay, Super RC Pro-Am. It's a racing game. Okay, here's a platformer for one of those Game Boy Color, Game Boy mix, in between Game Boy Color and Game Boy Original. Gex, Enter the Gecko. This is a platformer, so it's good enough to earn a sequel. In fact, I got a bunch of Game Boy Color games. I don't got Gex 2, but I got Gex 3, Deep Pocket Gecko, and oddly enough, the graphics on this game aren't half as good as on the original Gex. So I don't know why, but oh well. Turok 3. It's from Turok, the Turok series, where you go around with a bow and arrow and sometimes a tank, and you go and hunt monsters. Cubix. Robots for Everyone. Race and Robots. It's a 3D top-down racing game, and you race robots. Okay. Monsters. Dracula, Crazy Vampire. You're basically in job, at least in the first mission, is to get from one place to another without getting caught or without getting touched by other monsters. The graphics are okay. It's a top-down adventure game. So far, I haven't figured out how I'm supposed to attack, if I'm supposed to attack. I guess some speculators on YouTube say you just have to try and get from one place to another. But we'll see. Graphics look real good on it. Okay. Croc 2, a platforming game. Driver, you are the wheelman. You're basically, it's a top-down Game Boy, or not Game Boy, Grand Theft Auto clone. They had a bunch of those in the late 90s, early 2000s. Driver was one of them, was one of the more popular ones. And the graphics on it look really good. I don't know how smoothly it runs, though. We'll have to see. But there's that. Because I know the first Grand Theft Auto on a handheld was a top-down, just like that one. Okay, Planet of the Apes. This is a tie-in from the crappy Tim Burton version. It's a platformer. Okay, now for Disney's Magical Quest 2, starring Mickey and Minnie. That's a platformer adventure game, and it looks really good. Sitting Ducks. This looks like it might be a tie-in to something, off maybe a movie that I've never heard of, or a TV show. You're basically just walking around with this duck, and you have so many minutes to find certain items in an area. Those are your missions, and it's done by mission. Okay, I bought this for $5 sealed, and it looks really good. It's kind of a Jak and Daxter clone, and it's a tie-in to a Disney movie from back in the 2000s. G-Force. You play a hamster, or is he a gerbil? I don't know. But they're kind of stealth missions. You're futuristic hamsters, you got all kinds of equipment, and you sneak into buildings and you take care of missions. Okay, here's my only 3DS game. Just when I think they're not going to make any more 3DS games, they make this one. Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido. Now I could have gotten this for the Switch, but I'm pretty sure the controls work better with a stylus. Anyway, what you are is you're this warrior kind of girl, and what you have to do is you're fighting against an enemy, and you have plates of sushi that go across the screen. And what you have to do is you have to take your stylus and you have to tap each piece of sushi, and you have to connect it to other matching sets of sushi. And the more you match and the more you hit, the more it hits your enemy, the more it impacts your enemy, and you get better levels as you go along. You also have certain powers, certain sprites that assist you throughout the game, and you level them up as you go along. It's a beautiful game, it's a fun game, very fast-paced game, but my only problem with it is it depends a little bit too much on luck. It feels like you sit there for minutes and not match up any plates, and but it's a pretty fun little game, a lot of dialogue. But like I said, if you like games like Puzzle Quest and Puzzle Kingdom, and what's another game that I can compare it to? Those games where you're one-on-one against an enemy. You can't go wrong with this game. It's a beautiful game. Beautiful game. Charming sprites, anime style drawing. Okay, now for some El Cheapo Nintendo games. Breakthrough from Data East. You're basically riding around in an armored car, trying to break through, get to certain areas, try to shoot your way through, trying to survive. It's from Data East. You know what kind of games those are. Those are big-time shoot-em-ups. And I apologize for the permanent marker on this thing. Defender 2. Of course, it's a sequel to Defender. Kung Fu Heroes from Culture Brain. What you do is you walk around an area and you beat up certain bad guys until you find the exit to each area. That's pretty much it. They say it's kind of a cult classic. Now, I can't believe I didn't have this one already. I've got it on every other platformer, like the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy and stuff like that. But I don't know what that white stuff is. But Dr. Mario. It's an excellent, excellent puzzle game. Everybody knows what Dr. Mario is, so they should. Okay. Lunar Pool. Like I said, these are El Cheapo games. Casino Kid. I don't know how many games are on here, but it's got poker and 21. I don't know if it's got any other kind of game on there. So, Section Z. This is a shooter where you're in a robot suit and you're just going up and down, side-scrolling shooter, and you're trying to get into certain entrances and stuff like that. You got to fight your way, got to shoot your way through. Okay. POW, Prisoner of War. It's basically one of those shoot-em-ups like Commando and whatnot. You're trying to release prisoners. It's a top-down shooter, I do believe. It's not a side-scrolling like Commando and whatnot. I can't believe I didn't have this game. This is an excellent game. I got it for the Game Boy. Marble Madness. You're basically trying to guide a marble around these certain mazes. It's like the Super Monkey Ball of its day. Okay, now last but not least, my Switch games. This brings me up to 70 Switch games. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I wanted to wait till this went down in price. I played Xenoblade Chronicles for the 3DS, and I still haven't wrapped my head fully around it. But some people like it, some people don't. Monster Jam, Crush It. I like the Monster Jam series, those are fun. I got this one for 24 bucks. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Until I said it really fast, I really didn't get the joke of the title, but it's getting real good reviews, and they say it's one of the best RPGs on the Switch. I know it's a port, but there's that. I didn't get it full price because I wasn't going to get a port full price. So Battle Crashers Night War. This game, I guess it's a tie-in for an anime series or a comic series, but it's getting really good reviews. Haven't played this one yet though. It's the only one I haven't tried out, besides the couple of these other ones here. Actually, there's 4 of them I haven't tried out. These next ones I have tried out. Owlboy. It's a platforming action shooter game. My only problem with the game is the controls are kind of awkward. You have to hold down one button while the other guy, trying to shoot bad guys. It's a beautiful game full of exploration, and it's just, it's gorgeous. It's just the controls are a little awkward for me. Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. This is a very fun game. It basically what you have to do is you have to collect sprites because you're surrounded in this area, and you start out in this one area, and each area is blocked off by a mist, and you have to collect certain amounts of sprites to get through each mist. In the meantime, what you do is you craft, you have a farm to maintain, you feed animals, you have fish. It's almost like a Harvest Moon, but not quite. There's a little bit of gardening, I think, but not much. But you're basically hunting down, knocking down trees, busting down rocks, and you're trying to find sprites in certain areas. This is more exploration. It's a very chilled out game. There's not really a whole lot of bad guys to fight that I'm aware of. It's kind of like Pilot Wings or something like that. You know, where you just go around, walking around and exploring and trying to open up more areas to explore. It's a very charming game. My only problem with it is sometimes at the night time, it goes days and night cycles. There's really not much for you to do during the night cycles. Not that I've found yet. But during the day cycle, you basically explore and you find new places to explore. Okay, Happy Birthdays. This one's kind of hard to understand to explain. It's a bit like Harvest Moon in a way. You see what I remember. You have to craft things. You have to. Oh, and you're basically starting a civilization from scratch. Basically, you're trying to. It's like Minecraft. Only instead of just building things to survive, you're building things to initiate the creation of creatures. And eventually you want creatures to evolve. It's a very complex game. Don't let the title fool you. It's a very weird, complex game. I still haven't wrapped my head around it. But if you're into complex simulations like that, like SimCity and stuff like that, you'll love this game. And Civilization. You're manipulating the terrain so that more creatures will evolve, more creatures will develop, and go from there. They'll develop from little sea creatures to human beings eventually. Ooh, Runner 3. This is basically kind of a platformer game where he's constantly running, and you have to press the A or B button or the slide button at the right times. They say it's a platformer, but I don't know. There's some rhythm to it, but it's not really chained to the rhythm, I guess you could say. It's a pretty fun game. Of course, these runner games are kind of tough for me, so. Fallen Legion. This is a kind of a mixture between an RPG and a fighting game, side-scrolling brawling game. You have to have action points to actually move, and it feels like half the time I'm getting through with luck. It's a beautiful game, beautiful graphics. It's fun to play if you like RPGs and brawlers and beat 'em ups, kind of like Code of Princess and Muramasa, something in that vein. Then you can't go wrong with this. It's pretty good so far. Okay, last but not least, Yoku's Island Express. This is a combination between a platformer and a pinball game. You basically, there's pinball bumpers all over the game, and you use your your RZ or ZR and ZL buttons to hit the right bumpers in the right time to knock the ball to where it needs to go, so that you can get to certain places and explore certain places. And graphics are gorgeous. You'd think they were done by the same people who did Rayman. That game, it looks like it's done by the same. Now, I don't think it is done by the same team, but it looks like it was done by the same team. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. Okay, guys, those are my pickups for the past couple of months. I'm sorry I haven't gotten with you recently, but I figured tonight's a beautiful night to go ahead and do a video, and I hope to talk to you soon. Go ahead and subscribe. Tell me how you feel about it, and I'm looking forward to your opinion. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and God bless. Bye-bye.